Well, good evening and welcome to Flower Bluff, Texas, and better known as the Bluff. KWES here tonight to bring you this district matchup between your very own Weslaco Wildcats and the Flower Bluff Hornets. Both teams coming into tonight's contest undefeated in district play, so we are looking for a good one. I am Joe Aguilar, joined tonight by Football Fred. Will bring you all the action from tonight's windy ball game.
Yeah, you hit the word that I was looking for. You hit it. Windy. Hey, we haven't had many of these, right? I mean, it's been hot summer days and nights where there's a lot of wind, but now as the temperature in the season changes now, we're getting a little bit of wind out here. We're not too far away from the coast, all sorts of islands around us and water and things. But Hornet Stadium, yes, as you mentioned, Joe, is the exciting continuation of district play. Two teams that are coming undefeated, and they got here different ways, but we're here to see some football, and Weslaco East has come into Hornet territory. See how that goes tonight.
Yeah, we talked about them being undefeated in district play. The Hornets have played 3 district ball games. Harlingen South, which they won 49-6. Donna 79-0.
Whoa.
And PSJ Memorial 72-14. So they have put up quite a few points.
Yeah, they have. So what's going to happen here? A little early start. So what we'll do is we'll kind of pause for a minute. We'll step aside as they do the national anthem. You are watching live a KWES production.
Well, they just played the national anthem, and as we were talking about, Fred and myself, we talked about the both teams coming in undefeated in district play. We talked about Flower Bluff being 3-0 in district. Weslaco East is 2-0 in district. They beat Donna 17-5 in their opener. And then PSJ Memorial 34-14. They were off last week. That's why they have one fewer games.
Yeah.
But Weslaco East has been playing some really good football, of course, and it all starts with the quarterback, Aiden Gonzalez, He has passed for over 170 yards. They don't pass a lot.
Yeah.
And so he's been effective behind the pocket, and, of course, rushing. You got to talk about Jay Herrera. That guy has been not only a force to be reckoned with out of the backfield running with the ball, but also receiving the ball. He's got 8 touchdowns rushing, and he's got 2 touchdowns on receiving.
Yeah, so a steady diet, right?
Right.
Of him, and maybe you're going to have to be, have to choose when you throw the ball. We said that wind is a bit of a factor here. It looks like it's coming in from The southeast, I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of gauge, but the wind is blowing one way. So you're going to have to think if you're Weslaco East, especially if you decide to throw the ball a little bit. And you might have to. This Hornet team is no joke when it comes to offense. Joe, you just went over the scores. And they put up a bunch of points to everybody. So if you're going to stay in this game, you have to also put up some points. So I wonder if, the running game is there, do you start throwing the ball a little bit? You're going to have to think about, if you're Coach Brigette and the staff, okay, when do we pick our times to help the ball travel a little further or more accurate, if you would, if need be, depending on what side of the field you're on. It looks like if you're coming from we'll call it from the north to the south, if you're kind of watching from north to south or left to right, that's the wind is coming from that area. When you're coming from the right to the left, that's where the challenge might come. So that's something to think about, to look into, especially if Weslaco East, the Wildcats, decide to throw the ball a bit.
Yeah, and we talked about Jay Herrera because not only is he effective out of the backfield as a running back, but also out of the backfield as a receiver. The other running back who needs to be looked at as well is Elias Rodriguez.
Right.
He has rushed for over 500 yards as well this year. I didn't tell you Jay Herrera has rushed for over 560 yards. Elias has 522 yards. So, keeping the ball on the ground, you were mentioning how many points Flower Bluff has put up week to week. One of the things you want to do is keep the ball out of their hands. So a way to do that is by keeping the ball on the ground as well.
That's right. If you don't want to get into a shootout with a team that's averaging, 50, 60 points. So, yeah, you're right. Here's some of the defense come in, try to slow things down. Don't be mistaken. This team for the Hornets wants to run the ball, and they have the guys to do so, but we've seen in some of their previous games that they'll just pass it if they need to. If you're stopping the run or slowing things down, they have the quarterback, and we'll talk about all those players in a bit on what they're able to accomplish here. It looks like Flower Bluff, the Hornets in maroon, will be returning the ball here.
Yeah, the Wildcats did win the toss. They deferred for the second half, so the Wildcats will kick the ball away with the wind at their back. And looks like the Hornets are content and maybe bringing it out to the 25-yard line. Now they're going to go ahead and move back. Back deep, they are going to have Samuel Smith, their leading rusher, along with their leading receiver, Alan Jorgensen.
Now, those two guys, be on the lookout. I want to kick it as far as possible, near the concession stand if possible. Keep it away, especially from number 12. I think that would be the key.
Alejo's with the kick, and he does keep it away from 12. It's fielded at the 6-yard line by Jacob Kane. The ball is on the ground, picked up by the Hornets, and he's got some running room on the other side. And picking up that fumble and running with it is number 12, Samuel Smith. He is very dangerous.
Yeah, you can see he knows what to do with it after that fumble. What a hit, though. To start off this game for the Wildcats, that's what you want to see. Be aggressive against this team. Go out there and make some plays. And, boy, the Hornets just escaped disaster there on the first play, really, on kickoff.
Well, we talked about the Hornets and the number of points they put up. They got a quarterback that's thrown over 1,000 yards already, 19 TDs, and no interceptions.
Yeah, he's an impressive young quarterback.
Luciano Cruz, he's in the pistol formation. Got Smith in the background, looking to throw right away. He's got nobody, can't find him. He finally under pressure. He escaped some pressure, still moving, and he's going to be brought down by the defense. What a great job by the linebacker, Derek Salinas, keeping an eye on the quarterback Cruz and not allowing him to go anywhere, and picks up the sack, loss of 5 yards.
Excellent play by the defense, that backfield. Boy, Ramirez, Carrera back there, and everybody kind of making stopping them from getting any positive yardage there.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 15. The handoff is to Smith. He's bouncing it outside, and he's hit and knocked out of bounds after about a 4-yard gain, maybe 5.
Yeah, you mentioned Lucian Cruz. Now, he was a transfer player from Alice. So he came in this year as a senior year. So Coach was impressed. Talking to Coach earlier, Coach Elwood, he said, look, he picked up the offense pretty fast. He understood what we're doing, and boy, has he. And so, yeah, he's going to be the key man here on this offense. So watch for number 1, Lucian Cruz, senior quarterback.
So once again, in the pistol, they got 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 at top. Smith in the backfield. Cruz looking to throw. He's got a receiver in the middle, and he hits him on the run. A good pass and a good catch. James Porter on the receiving end of that one.
Yeah, James Porter is another senior wide receiver. They line up usually with 3 receivers heavy on one side, and then they like to go either 2 or 1. Just depends. That's their basic offense, and you can see, as you mentioned, Joe, they like to run out of the pistol.
So they'll bring that same formation, 3 receivers down to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. They'll send Smith right with the quarterback. He just shifts over next to him. And they're going to hand the ball off to him again, looking for some room at the middle. He's broken into the backfield. He's got some green in front of him, and finally runs out of bounds about the 37-yard line. So good run there by Smith, bouncing it outside.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that is very patient, especially in this offense. His offensive line is great. We'll talk about him in a bit. But they bring their blocks, and then he waits for him, and then he's got the explosiveness to really do something positive.
Now he shifts to the left side of the quarterback. And they're basically know it's going to be play action, looking for a receiver. Under pressure, Padilla misses him, but then he cannot get away from the second man through, and that is Nehemiah Muniz.
Oh, boy. A flag on something positive, on really just a player for the Wildcats fell on top of another Hornet, and that was enough to draw a big penalty, 15 yards. And, boy, for a team that doesn't need any help on offense, that's already a big 15-yard penalty. And, again, it looks like it was momentum coming in.
Right.
And a player inadvertently falls on it, but they calls a 15-yard penalty. Big penalty there on the Wildcats.
So that's a first down for the Hornets at the 25-yard line. Looking again to his left. It's a big, quick out. Once again, the receiver is James Porter on a quick out, and that's going to be very close to another first down. We'll see where they mark it.
Yeah, Weslaco is going to drop back into a bit of a zone. They don't want to give up the big play. And, sometimes that'll open things up front, and that's what you're getting from Porter. Already 2 on this drive that he's been able to pick up some first downs.
So they're going to give him 9 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 1 ball at about the 13-yard line. Same formation with Smith in the backfield. Once again, the quarterback able to get away, but not the second guy. Good play there by the linebacker. Once again, Derek Salinas.
Yeah.
That's his 2nd sack of the night.
Derek Salinas understands that back there, Lucian Cruz is going to try to be patient. Why? That gives enough time for his receivers to open up. If you can hold on for a second or 2 longer, that's what you're going to see. The offensive line can only hold on for so long. Good penetration there by Salinas.
So they'll lose about 5. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. 2 receivers to each side. They're going to run a little shuffle pass to Smith, and he's going to get to about the 15-yard line, and that may not be enough for a first down. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, I'm kind of laughing because here, Coach, to be honest with you, looking at it, the defense, Coach Guzman is probably thinking, enough of him standing back there. Let's get him some pressure, and that time it worked.
Yeah, and the Hornets countered with a shuffle pass. So here we go, 3rd down, 4th down, and 1.
There you go.
And a big hit from Padilla. Santiago Munoz was the first one through, and he made sure that Smith did not pick up the first down.
Yeah.
The Hornets are able to move the ball down the field, get into the red zone, and the defense holds.
And that was because they had a penalty. Remember, it was a foul penalty where somebody fell on a Hornet player late. They were able to overcome that. Great defense here first on the first play for them. They have to be excited, and they definitely are on the bench. Everybody's talking to each other like, hey, guys, let's go play.
So here come your Wildcats on offense. It's going to be Aiden Gonzalez, the quarterback, in the pistol formation. 2 receivers at the top of your screen. Play action, gets rid of the ball quickly in the hands of Burnias, and Burnias trying to turn the corner, but is brought down quickly. Very short gain on that one.
This is where I think the matchup will be. Offensive line for Weslaco East. The Wildcats taking on that defensive line for the Hornets. They've got some size and they've got some speed. Landon Green, number 40, he's a guy that you got to keep an eye on. He's a guy that will destroy your offense if you give him a second. If you notice on that one, they fake going that way and they went the opposite way. So maybe keep an eye on number 40. He kind of makes this defensive line go, so I'm sure the coaches are keeping an eye on him to try to neutralize him as much as possible.
Well, they lost about 2 yards. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 12. They're going to send a man in motion. It's going to be a quick bubble screen to Jay Herrera, and he drops it, so it'll be 3rd down and 12.
That had some promise to it. Jay just kind of got his eyes off the ball. You see a little bit of green. You can't blame the guy. You come up and you have an opportunity to pick up some positive yardage. You just say, oh, wait a minute, I forgot something. Yeah, the ball, so you kind of have to grab that. But it's early on. A lot of nerves and jitters, I'm sure, on both teams. You just saw it on the first drive for the Hornets, plus a great defensive stand for this defense. So that puts together. So, yes, third down now. Let's see how this offense handles this.
So the incomplete pass stops the clock with 7:48 to go here in the opening quarter. No score. Third down and 12 for your Wildcats. Gonzalez looking left. He's got some trouble from the defensive end. You talked about him just a little while ago, Fred, Landon Green, and he was in his face.
Yeah, he's a guy that is going to every play. Now, he's not just a pass rusher. That's going to be a safety because that was a fumble. It looks like number 1 quarterback, Aiden Gonzalez, was hit, lost it. A couple of Wildcats had a chance on it, but finally the Hornets found it. So that's 2 points. I guess it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a touchdown, but they surrendered 2 points.
I was expecting an incomplete pass because it looked like his arm was moving.
Yeah, you're right.
But then again, I'm not back there. So as you mentioned, Fred, it was called a safety. So not only do the Hornets come away with some points, they're going to come away with the ball as well.
Yeah, and so now you're starting to see what the issues are on offense can be. And by the way, this is we kind of coming into this game. That was going to be the key. This really good offensive Weslaco offensive line. The Wildcats have a good offensive line. I think that's one of their strengths, if not their strength. How are you going to handle that? And I think Coach KWES is going to talk to them. Coach Brigette is going to talk about where they're coming from. Especially we mentioned his name, Landon Green. Him along with number 47 on the opposite side, Micah Mitchell. Those 2 guys by themselves can ruin a drive just like they did there. So I'm sure that the Wildcats will take a look at that and see how maybe they can adjust what they can do. But that'll be a matchup here all night long. Keep in mind, besides having an offense that can score, the Hornets, they also do what they just did there. They can get some points on the defensive side. They've had some pick sixes, if you would, also on the defense. So they help their offense scoring as well.
Yeah, they create havoc.
Yep.
So once again, the Wildcats will kick the ball away. It's going to be Alan Alejos kicking the ball away. Smith and Jorgensen back deep for the Hornets. It's going to be a squib kick, and it's going to go out about midfield. And so this is going to give the Hornets really good field position.
And that's another thing, by the way. They will mention how, when you have a good offense and you have overall a good team, how can they score that many points? Well, this is the kind of stuff that happens. A team like the Wildcats are trying to get, not have any good returns. And so you sometimes kick it out of bounds. You try to get a shorter kick, and sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want it to. So unfortunately, that gives you even really good field position. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're right at midfield.
Right.
Again, an offense that doesn't need any help is getting help. So that's why sometimes these scorers can really get up there high numbers because their opportunities at offense are many, many, many opportunities.
So the Hornets will send 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. They've got a slot man, and they've got Smith in the backfield. Quarterback is Lucian Cruz. He'll take the snap. He'll drop back. He'll look left. Looks right. He's got some time. There's some white jerseys trying to get to him. He's got some running room. Steps out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. No, they're going to give him 9 yards.
Right. So the positive, there's a flag, and that's going to be a holding on Flower Bluff. Another thing we'll talk about it. I'll talk about the flag. When you have that much time in the pocket, either your offensive linemen are really, really good, which they are here at Flower Bluff, but
they're holding.
or they're holding, right?
Yeah.
One of those 2 things.
And it was right here at the bottom, right in front of us.
Yeah, so that usually goes hand in hand. Again, not taking away anything from the offensive line.
Yeah, they had Padilla by the jersey. I saw it down here right in front of us. Yeah. So they'll come out with 3 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Looking to the right is Cruz. He's out of the pocket. He's going to run. He's got some room. He cuts it outside, and he's going to fall forward to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 50-yard line, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
So far, this Weslaco East defense, this Wildcat defense is doing a good job of having big plays down the field. That's a good thing. Now, keep in mind, how long can that little zone, little bubble hold for? We're going to find out here, but so far they're making Cruz run.
2nd and 11. They'll give him 9 on that carry. He's looking to his left. Draw play to Smith. Smith bouncing it outside. He tries to hurdle somebody, and he is hit as he comes down. Robert Oviedo, he tried to hurdle him, and Robert hit him on his legs.
Yeah.
When he came down, he landed a little awkwardly and then ran into 2 other white jerseys.
That is a dangerous play. I mean, I'm talking A+ for an athletic run. But, boy, you got to be careful with those kind of things. People are coming full speed.
7 yards on the carry, 3rd down and 3. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top. Smith in the backfield. Play action, looking for a quick pass, and he hits his receiver right in the middle of the field. And on the receiving end of that bullet is Ransom Watson, and that's one of his favorite receivers.
Yeah, he's got him. He's a big target. Kind of looks more like a tight end, if you would. And he's got the shape of a tight end, but he's a receiver. They like to play him in the slot. Sometimes he'll move closer to the line, a traditional tight end, but right now he's in the slot.
So you got 2 receivers to each side. Smith in the backfield, 1st and 10 for the Hornets. Looking to his left, now he's looking to his right. Again, it's to Watson. This time he can't haul it in. That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Watson is just a junior. And we say that because of the ability that he has. You mentioned he's a go-to receiver to him. He's not the fastest guy. Now, Coach Elwood said, look, we've got other guys that are faster, but recently Watson has been the go-to guy there in the slot. He's set up on the right side.
Yeah, Cruz has got 15 guys with receptions this year. Handoff to Smith. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet, gets inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. He's got about 16 receivers with receptions this year, so he spreads it around.
Yeah.
12 of them have TDs.
Yes, and a little bit of background here on number 12 there. You're talking about him. He's a 2-year player. We're talking about Smith. I said, Coach, tell me something about him that we don't know. He says, we cannot get him out of the weight room. That tells you what type of workout warrior he is, number 12, Smith.
Play action, gets the ball quickly out into the hands of Satsky, and Satsky breaks a tackle, still on the sideline running, and he is determined to try to get to the end zone. He's finally knocked out of bounds, drugged down at about the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal.
So they have many wide receivers that they like to go to, and a lot of these guys are returners. They have experience.
So 1st and goal for the Hornets. Snap, handoff to Smith. Smith in the end zone. Touchdown, Hornets. That's Samuel Smith's 10th rushing touchdown of the year. 4:49 to go here in the first quarter, and it is now 8-0. Hornets on top, pending the point after.
So the defense, what happens here is when you're playing defense, one of the things that kind of develops is there's only so much you can do. We said earlier, how much will that little bubble, that little area hold? And then eventually they start pulling back and start running with Mr. Jim Smith, number 12, Samuel Smith, who, by the way, is just a junior on this offense. And you mentioned already his stats and what type of player he is. So this is the type of thing that you deal with a team like this. We're kind of giving you an idea back at home. And by the way, if you're joining us, thank you very much for joining us tonight on KWES. Love to have you. Like to have you on. You saw the score there, so now makes it a 9-0 game. Now it came earlier, Joe, with this. Remember, Weslaco East on the first drive for the Hornets stopped them. They were able to stop them. But then they were so far behind that they were inside the 5 or 4-yard line, something like that. Ended up being a safety. So those were where the 2 points come from at the touchdown. That's where we stand.
That's exactly right. That's a quick scoring update with 4:49 to go here in the first quarter. 9-0 Hornets on top. They will kick the ball away to the Wildcats. Burnias and Herrera back deep. And it's going to be the backup kicker. That's what you and I were talking about at the beginning of the game, because they've got 2 kickers. Mm-hmm. And this one here, Ethan Satsky, is the one that doesn't kick a pure ball.
Right.
The other young man, number 80, who kicked the extra point, Zachary Selman, was kicking some from 47 yards out and then some.
When you told me 47, I had to stop what I was doing. And I said, what? Did you just say 47? Sure enough. Yeah, it looks like it's Statsky here, or Satsky.
It
usually.
Is Satsky,
yeah. Satsky is more of a kickoff specialist, right? Well, the other guy, yeah, he's your specialist for your extra points and field goals, that's for sure.
So here comes the kick from Satsky. It's a good one. into the area of Burnias. Burnias takes it at the 11-yard. He's going to cut up the middle looking for a block. Still on his feet at about the 25-yard line where he's finally brought down. A good, solid return from Burnias, just fighting his way forward to about the 25-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats are going to take over 1st and 10 with 4:42 to go here in the first quarter.
Much better possession, or maybe start where you start this possession than before. So you start now at the 25-yard line. No need to get out of your offense. It's 9-0. It's early on. 4:42 still left in the first quarter. You basically can run your offense and try to get that rolling. Whatever you have coming in, you try to stick with it as much as you can here early.
Two receivers down to the bottom of your screen. They're going to have Elias Rodriguez in the backfield. He's going to run right behind his left guard, and he's going to pick up 5 yards.
This is where the aggressiveness is going to have to show up for this Weslaco East offensive line. This is their biggest challenge of the year. This is the best defensive line they have faced all year, and they faced some good ones here early on during the non-district and so far in the district. This is the real deal. This offensive line has to match the intensity of the defensive line.
Once again, it's Garza Elias Rodriguez, and he'll get out in front of the 36 to the 37. That's going to move the chain for your Wildcats. Running behind Jacob Zuniga and Lubin Garcia there on the left side, and they found something there.
Yeah, good guys to follow. Those are the guys you want to follow into your hole and right behind them. Now, you said this earlier, Joe, and it kind of resonates with me a little bit. You have to be able to run the ball in order to keep that offense on that side.
Right.
That helps your offense. That helps your team. So we'll see if Weslaco East can continue this.
So they'll bring out that same formation. They'll send a man in motion, and there's going to be a flag. That might be too many men moving. False start.
Yeah.
So that's going to move them back 5 yards, and that's something you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Is penalties, because they had the personal foul penalty earlier. Now they got this motion penalty.
Yeah.
So that's already 2 penalties on the Wildcats here in the first period.
Keep in mind, you don't want to help this team at all. There's nothing. You don't want to cut them any breaks. They don't need them, and so we don't want to give it to them.
So the Wildcats will show the same formation. Gonzalez rolling out to his right. Gets rid of the ball to Herrera. And Wildcat fans are looking for a flag as the defender was on his shoulders early.
Yeah, Julian Johnson coming up from a defensive back spot. Some of these defensive backs play not just defense, they play offense as well. So they're familiar with pass patterns and, what they're doing. But, it looked like he was a little bit, on him before. And I do feel that the Wildcat fans had a point there, but they didn't call that.
They did not. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 15 for your Wildcats. Ball still resting at the 32-yard line. They'll flip the formation, send the receivers to the opposite side of the field. Gonzalez going to Herrera. Now we got a flag because the defensive back was pushing off.
Yeah. The field judge on this side, closer to us, on your bottom of your screen, didn't call it. But the official, the referee, he's back there. The back judge? It's the back judge, yeah. The back judge.
Jeff Rosser.
Jeff Rosser had a better view of things. So he comes and tells the referee, hey, yeah, he was holding him. I saw him from the other side. He was giving him the business. First down. That's what you got.
Exactly. That's going to move the chains for your Wildcats. And that's going to be a 1st and 10. Ball moves up to the 48-yard line. 3:11 to go here in the opening quarter. Wildcats moving the ball. The drive that started at their own 25-yard line already up towards midfield.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of running the clock. There's check 1, right? Check number 2, keep that offense off the field. That's important.
So they'll bring 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Villegas in the slot, Rodriguez in the backfield. They're going to give the ball to Rodriguez again, off to that left side. He's got some room, lowers his head, gets across midfield, and the Wildcats are in Hornet territory at the 47-yard line.
Football is still football. You've got to tackle, you got to hit, and so when you do that, the Wildcats do a good job of that. They're physical, One of the things we talked about with Coach Elwood about, we asked him, Coach, what do you think? He says, look, they're well coached. I'll tell you that. He was speaking of the Weslaco Wildcats. Says they're well coached, they're physical, so we expect probably the most physical game of the year, he said. So this could be the case against this defense. So that's why I said this offense and defense is going to be the key matchup of the game.
So it's a 5-yard gain for Rodriguez, and it'll be 2nd down and 5. They flip the script, but they do the same play. It's Rodriguez lowering his head. He gets inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Now, sorry, Joe. It looks like the Hornets were getting up and pointing, and they're still pointing like the ball belongs to them. But see what the officials have to say. They haven't really said anything yet.
No. And as long as the officials aren't making any moves the other way, that means it's still our ball.
Yeah, that's what you call wishful thinking on the other side.
Yeah.
So, they got up saying, we got the ball. But the officials had something to say about it, so now we'll bring up a 3rd and short now for the Wildcats.
3rd down and 3 for the Wildcats. I formation for your Wildcats. Gonzalez going to hand it off to the 2nd man through, and he's twisting and turning, and that's Rodriguez. He's going to get to about the 42-3-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th and maybe 1.
You got to go for it, don't you? I mean, you're on the other side of the field. It's a 4th. It's going to be about to be a 4th down. Yeah, you've got to go for it here. You might. These opportunities
don't come a lot.
Yeah, you've got to take advantage of it. And if anything else, try to run the clock a little bit. I mean, you're too far for a field goal, obviously, but you're not too far enough to try it. Now you say, well, this defense at this point, if you kick it, you're going to have to kind of just put your foot into it so it doesn't go into the end zone. That neglects everything. But we'll see what the coaches do here. The play clock is running now. We're going to have to go to 10 seconds now. I wonder if they're going to call a timeout. This would probably be the time.
With 4th down, you knew Burgett has got to call a timeout.
Yep, and there he is.
And we've got exactly 60 ticks on the clock. Wildcats 4th down and 1 from the 43-yard line. And they've been moving the ball. This drive started at the 25-yard line, and they've been looking pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And we've seen at least 90% of these carries have gone to the left side.
Right. So let's see if that continues. 1. 2, this was a good timeout, not just because the clock was running, but I think at this point the Wildcats have had to really pick up first after first down after first down. You kind of get a little winded. It's been physical out there. There's a lot of hard hitting going on in the trenches. So this is a good day, kind of reset, kind of get your water in, kind of take a deep breath and kind of get things going here, and make sure that the coaches say, hey, this is the game, this is the play we're going with, this is how we're going to run it. And I think that's a good smart for a first time that they use the timeout.
And the other thing is you want to make sure you got the right personnel in there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the key. If we're going to go this way, this is the way we're going to do it. Right.
Yeah, you want to get the right personnel in there because, as you noticed, there were a couple of people making some shifts right before that timeout was called.
Yeah, it looks like they're coming in and out. They're using every single second of this timeout as much as possible. The officials are blowing the whistle like, hey, guys, the timeout is over, guys. Hey, guys, the timeout is over. Watch, here comes I was about to get the attention of the official here. The official is about to get the attention of the team. All right, big 4th down play here early.
Public address announcer announced it, and the wild crowd here on both sides getting excited. Not only Hornet Nation, but Wildcat Nation as well. Gonzalez under center. He's a quarterback sneak, and he's got it. It's a little tush push.
Mm-hmm. That's right. A brotherly shove of brothers that are Wildcats. First down.
So the Wildcats get the first down, keep this drive alive. They'll move the chains down to the 40-yard line. They needed 1. They got 3. And so the clock will continue to move once the chains are set. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Wildcats do have to run one more play.
And that's all right. If you wonder, hey, we got our first down, we've working, and we're on this side of the field now, let's run our offense.
Pistol formation for Gonzalez. He's going to hand the ball off to Burnias. Burnias, right behind the right guard, is hit hard and dropped back. The linebacker, Anthony Mims, with a big hit.
Yeah, Anthony Mims is one of those guys that's very active. Stands right next to Landon Green, who we've already talked about. So those two guys, you see him right in the middle, 33, 40. Those are the guys that make all the noise up at the front. 47s on the opposite side. They rotate their players quite a bit. You'll see also Christopher Russell, another linebacker, 2-year player, number 42, and that's going to end the first quarter, Joe.
That is absolutely right. That Hornet you just heard is the end of the first quarter. And at the end of one, it is the Flower Bluff Hornets 9, your Weslaco Wildcats nothing. But they are driving. We'll be right back with the second quarter right here on KWES. Teams have switched sides. Now your Wildcats will go from right to left on your television screen. Second down and 10. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line. Gonzalez in the pistol formation. Got one back in the backfield. Two receivers down to the bottom of your screen. Handoff. No, it's not. It's a play action. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. And Wildcat Nation wanting a late hit as there was a double pump on the quarterback Gonzalez, but as you mentioned earlier about inadvertent, it was just your momentum carrying you, and of course, you get trying to get out of the way of the chains as well.
I don't think the Wildcat fans forget very quickly what happened in the first quarter. Again, an inadvertent falling on a player, that was called, and they're saying, well, wait a minute. Over on this side, why is it not being called, right? That makes some sense, makes logical sense, but again, the official didn't see that, unfortunately, so we play on, folks.
And they'll lose 3 on that play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 13. As we mentioned, they did switch sides. So now your Wildcats going into this wind. It's gusting pretty heavily. And now it seems it's more like it's coming across. The Wildcats, Coach Burgett wanting a timeout, something he saw on there didn't like. So he wants to talk things over with his team because, again, it is 3rd down and 13, and you want to make sure you get at least half of that back because we are in 4-down territory.
Yeah, you have to. You got to make sure that you get the right play. You talked about personnel. That is very important, especially with this type of an offense, that you got the right guys in the right places to make it happen. So we'll see how the Wildcats come about it. But so far here, if you're watching at home, you're thinking, hey, this is a good thing. We agree with you that this offense is taking some time with them, but we need those first downs. That only can happen. This type of offense and how you wanting to play this game only works if you pick up first down. So it's a big 3rd down here. Yeah, you're right, Joe. This is a 4th down territory. So we'll see how the Wildcats play it. But this defensive line for Flower Bluff now all of a sudden has become ultra aggressive, bringing in another guy, not just the defensive line, but they're bringing a linebacker even to stop the run.
Yeah, they got 5 men on the line right now. Play action. Gonzalez gets rid of it in the direction of Zuniga, but underthrows him.
He was open for a minute, yeah.
Yeah, if you lead Zuniga on that play, you've got yards to, Villegas, not Zuniga, it's Villegas.
Yeah.
He had him open. You hit him on the run, you're picking up that first down.
But you know what? And I agree with you that this is a 4th down territory, but the coaches don't agree. I think they're going to send out the punter, right?
Yeah, they are. They got Contreras on the field and the punt team as well, and they're going to punt into a pretty brisk wind.
Yeah. That was another reason I was thinking you go for it. This wind is really starting to blow now. Remember, right off the bay here at Flower Bluff is where we're at.
And that's a good punt.
Yeah.
Takes a Wildcat bounce. Now it takes a Hornet bounce. Now it just checks. So it's going to be dropped at about the 17, 18-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. So they're going to make the Hornets have to travel 80-something yards, 82 yards. So that's a good, wise choice. It was a good punt.
Yes.
Considering the wind that they're having to deal with.
Yeah, the only thing now, they kind of you got to think of a negative thing. Now they've got the wind basically at their backs. So, it didn't stop them from trying to throw the ball earlier. I'll see if now it doesn't matter for the Hornets. We'll see here.
They'll send 2 receivers to each side of the field. They'll have Smith in the backfield with the quarterback, Cruz. They'll hand it off to Smith. Smith is hit at the line of scrimmage, picks up 2 yards. Good play there by the defense of the Wildcats. And the first one in there is Alana Lejos.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's going to have to be heavily involved in this run support. it just collapsed. The block, it just collapsed completely in front of him. Good tackle there by the Wildcats, led, as you mentioned, by Alejo. So they want to pass the ball, but you can see they have the guy to run it with. So now the question comes, so what do we play here? How do we slow this down? That's the key tonight.
Same formation for the Hornets. Looking to his right now. He looks to his left. He's under trouble. He's under pressure. Now he's going to break out of the pocket. He's going to have to run with it, and he's going to run out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. He may be shy of the first down. It just depends on where they spot it. But those have got to be coverage sacks. When it's not a sack, but still, that secondary of the Wildcats not giving him much.
They are disguising their coverage. What does that mean? They start off showing you a coverage, and then they get out of it. And so the Flower Bluff hasn't figured out yet what they're starting to play on or what they're dropping into. Not yet, anyway.
3rd down and 1 for the Hornets. Handoff to Smith. He's got some room. He breaks a few tackles, gets outside to the 37-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hornets.
Weslaco East was putting on a run blitz. They were trying to cover every single hole possible. They just, where there was no player, that's where Smith went through. Picks up a 1st down.
1st and 10, Flower Bluff. Ball at the 38-yard line. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. Cruz looking over the defense. He looks to his right. Underneath, he hits his man, Watson. Watson is hit hard and brought down. A good open field tackle by Santiago Flores.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. When they catch it, remind them, if you catch it, it's going to hurt a little after we bring you down. That's what the message you have to send, because these receivers, you know, sometimes they'll make these business decisions, especially where he was at in the middle. You have to make them pay for coming across the middle. If you're the Wildcats there on that one, nice tackle.
Yeah, and you create what are called alligator arms.
Yes.
So 2 receivers each side. They'll change up the formation just a bit. 1st and 10. Again, Cruz looks to his left. Throws it right up the middle, and again he finds his receiver. And this time it is not Watson. This time it is Julian Johnson.
Julian Johnson, a senior defensive back, wide receiver. We said earlier, as a matter of fact, we saw him make a play on the defense earlier.
You talked about making him pay. He walks off limping.
Yeah, you have. Remember, if you're going to play in the middle, then that's fine. But remember, if you live in the middle, you're going to have to pay for it. The space, the rent here is expensive, Wildcats have to say. And you're going to have to pay with a hard hit.
So that'll be another 1st down for the Hornets inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Handoff to Smith. Smith got some room in the middle. Smith breaks a few tackles and is finally dropped down in the 3rd zone by Gavin Melendez.
The Wildcats brought some pressure. Again, they're bringing pressure from different sides. That run blitz is supposed to meet with the runner when he comes through the hole. The only problem is the Wildcats brought it from the outside. He stayed in the inside. So that blitz really didn't catch anybody.
Big gain, 1st and 10, 21-yard line for the Hornets. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Quick release. He gets his receiver and he breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and it's a 21-yard touchdown pass to Allen Jorgensen. That's his 3rd touchdown of the year.
Yeah, Allen Jorgensen, the junior wide receiver, just making a Wildcat miss, basically. The Wildcats had him there, missed the tackle, and against this team, you can see why you cannot miss a tackle. They have that breaking ability where it's just a quick pass pattern for 5-10 yards, and then it turns into a 20-yarder and a touchdown. And that's what you got there. So, again, nothing that the Wildcats haven't seen before, but the execution part of it is interesting. Now they're going for 2 here.
They're going for 2. They want to make it a 3-possession ball game. 8:09 to go here in the 1st half. And the quarterback, Cruz, looking to his right, now looks to his left. Got a receiver in the middle. It is caught, but he was out of bounds.
Yep.
He jumped, and his feet were never on the ground. So the 2-point conversion is no good. So with 8:09 to go here in the 1st half, it is now the Flower Bluff Hornets 15, your Wildcats nothing.
So we have some time, Joe. I got to thank the community of Flower Bluff. Really nice people here. Yeah, so we're talking about, thanking the people here in Flower Bluff and how nice they are. The community, I think, was come in, wished us well. They had their Flower Bluff Hornets stuff on, and nice people. Coach Elwood. Hey, by the way, we said Coach Clint Elwood now, 2 years now the official coach here at this program. 17 years overall, though, being here, so he has some experience. He graduated from San Antonio Southwest, so he calls himself a San Antonio boy. That's what he says, San Antonio boy. So he's got his family here. We told him we would say hello to his wife, who's a pre-K teacher here. He's got a son who's at A&M Kingsville, daughter who's at UT. A heck of a swimmer, I heard, here at Flower Bluff. And then the one that makes it all go, she's in 6th grade. The younger daughter. We said would say hello to the family.
The one that keeps him on his toes.
Keeps them on their toes. He is the real Hornet, he says. Yeah, good job there. Want to say hello to the family, the coaches, and everybody for their hospitality here at Hornet Stadium.
Except the guys that gave us the wrong directions to the wrong restaurant.
Yes, that was that guy we won't talk about.
Satsky with the kickoff. It goes deep into the direction of Jay Herrera. Herrera's going to let it go into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback.
Never been here. I've done football for years, but I've never been to Flower Bluff. I couldn't tell you where it was if you told me to look for it, but I'm happy that I came. We're coming back again later in the year. That's what they're telling us. They're telling me. So we're making plans now. Coach Elwood suggested 4 different places to us. So we've determined we took a wrong right instead of a right left. That make any sense?
A lot of sense, especially if you were in the vehicle. So, yeah.
So, but again, it goes back to the fun you have when you come and meet new people, and they're cool people here. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
8:09 to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 for your Wildcats. Ball at the 25-yard line. Gonzalez under center, one back in the backfield. They'll send a man in motion. That's Jay Herrera. The toss to Herrera. He cuts up the field, and he is going to pick up 2 yards.
Well, they're bringing everybody. They are now basically on the defense, the adjustment by Coach Elwood and the rest of, Coach Elwood says, I run the defense. So this is Coach Elwood changing the defense. You're going to see now, you saw it here first. I don't know if we're here on second, but they're selling out. This is a sellout run blitz. They have the 4 guys that we've already talked about, and you see number 99, Garrett O'Brien, also a defensive lineman who comes in and out. But watch the 3 linebackers. By the way, they have an outstanding linebacker in Tristan Wilson, a 3-year starter, number 3. Watch those guys right here. Look at all those guys in the middle. Look at that box and see where they go. Watch this.
They got 9 in the box.
Watch this. Everybody's coming.
This time the ball is handed off to Burnias on the right side, and there is nowhere to go.
Now, we say this, Joe, because as you 5 guys, 6 guys, whatever you guys have blocking with, they're saying, okay, we're going to match your 6 or 7 on the line, and we're going to bring another 2.
And we're going to raise you 2.
And we're going to raise you 2, and we're going to get there quicker, and we're going to make you work harder because, yes, you were moving the ball on us earlier. So we're going to take that away. They're taking away your run ability if you're the Wildcats. You're starting to see that now. They're not going to give you the run. So if you can get through the first line of defense, there's nobody back there. That's a good thing. But now do you start thinking, well, we said earlier, you said it, Joe, if need be, this passing game, will it come if need be? We'll see here again. Big 3rd down.
Well, we got 3rd down and 6. And here comes a pass from Gonzalez. And he's got a receiver, and it is caught. Good catch there by Jonathan Pineda, and he had 2 guys on top of him.
Well, we asked the question. We got an answer. Slant right in there to Jonathan Pineda. Nice placement of ball. You're right in between 2 Hornet defenders. 1st down.
So that'll move the chain for your Wildcats. Clock is ticking at 6:12 to go here in the first half. Wildcats down 15-0. 1st and 10, ball at the 45-yard line.
Now, we'll say on that 3rd down play, they didn't bring the house. They didn't give you everybody at the line. They dropped back, and that's how they were able to find a little spot there. Let's see what the Hornets do here. Do they want to bring everybody again? Watch the linebackers. Yep, here they go.
It's going to be a quarterback draw, and yes, they did bring the house. And the linebacker really had his eyes set on the quarterback, Gonzalez. That was Christopher Green.
Yeah, they have a couple of those guys. Number 42, Christopher Russell, is a 2-year player. Some of these guys we said here earlier, Joe, this team that you see now here right now have a different quarterback, obviously, but they went far into the playoffs, 2-3 rounds. Talking to Coach Burgett about this, he says, I expect them to go 4 rounds deep. He says how talented they are. So you can start seeing already some of how they're playing here. So the chess match continues. 2nd down and long, and see what the defense likes to do here.
Yeah, they lost 3 on that play, so it's 2nd down and 13. They'll blitz. Gonzalez gets rid of it quickly, and what a grab. Again, they ran a slant, this time to the other side, and that is Contreras just getting up there and bringing it down.
Nice pass by the Wildcats. Gonzalez stands there and zips it. That's a nice play there. And again, the chess match continues. If you're going to bring everybody, there's going to be some green in the middle, and we're going to find it on a slant. That's what the Wildcats are countering with. Coaches here are very excited over this play that they've got coming in. All the coaches, on the offensive side, Coach Brown, Coach Gomez, everybody, Coach Brigette, all calling this play.
4 seconds on the play clock. They barely get it off. This is a bubble screen to Herrera. Herrera cannot shake the tackle, and a good job there by Jacob Kane to make sure Herrera doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, the tackle had to be on point. If you miss the tackle, Herrera keeps running.
That's right.
And that's just a nice open field tackle by your starting corner out there, as you mentioned, Jacob Kane, the defensive senior cornerback. So I'm excited about seeing this. The Weslaco East is adjusting. The Wildcats are, depending on what you're giving us, we're going to give you something in return. Two receivers now over on that side.
Yeah, 2 to each side, 1 back in the backfield in Elias Rodriguez. Pistol formation for Gonzalez. They'll hand it off to Rodriguez. He's got some room. He breaks some tackle. He's in the open field all the way down to the 31-yard line, and that's what Rodriguez does. He hits the hole hard, and you better buckle your chin strap up because he's going to hit somebody.
We said earlier, if you bring guys that are supposed to be there to tackle and they're not there, there's a lot of green in front of you. Excellent call. Nice run. You said it. Yeah, they needed a big run from Rodriguez, and they just got it on that play.
1st and 10 for your Wildcats. Ball down to the 32-yard line. We are down to 3:22 to go here in the first half.
Clock is running.
Fakes the handoff to Burnias. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be brought down. You talked about this guy earlier, Garrett O'Brien, and he just wrapped his arms around Gonzalez, but Gonzalez able to pick up a yard.
Spoke to the coach, Elwood. Says, our defense, we're happy enough to where we can turn guys in and out. We have guys that can man. We have some depth. But look at the body language of the Hornet, the defensive players. Look at their hands. Look at 40. Look at 33. Look at 42. Look at where their hands are.
They're sucking wind.
Yeah. You've been running through them for some minutes now. They're starting to feel it a little bit.
Gonzalez looking to his left, gets rid of the ball. He's got Jay Herrera wide open. Touchdown, Wildcats! A 35-yard touchdown pass from Aiden Gonzalez to Jay Herrera. He was wide open.
Wow. Wildcat strike. What a pass. That was a broken coverage on their side. There was nobody. I think, Joe, you were the closest guy to Herrera on a perfectly placed ball. And what a catch. That's not easy to catch the ball when you're all by yourself like that.
And they'll line up to go for 2 I formation. Gonzalez, quarterback keeper. Does he get in?
It looks like they're still letting him play. It's going to be short.
He did not get in.
Ah.
So 2:16 to go here in the first quarter.
Man, oh
no,
man.
They're not going to give him the touchdown. They're going to say he was down at the 1.
Wait. Were you talking about the touchdown with Herrera?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They didn't give him the touchdown.
Oh, wow. We thought we were going for 2 points here.
Exactly. No, it's not a touchdown.
Jeez.
So it's 1st and goal. They stopped them, and we're going to 2nd and goal.
Well, that's an interesting development there. I thought it was a touchdown.
So did I. He was in the white.
Yeah, he was in the area of white. As a matter of fact, Coach
Burgett is over there.
Burgett is saying,
yes, exactly.
He caught it in the end zone. We saw it from where we were, Coach Burgett went out to the official to tell him he wasn't that white when he fell.
That's exactly what he's saying.
So just to kind of recap what we're talking about here, folks, back in the Wildcat country where you're watching here this evening, that was a pass thrown from the quarterback, Aiden Gonzalez, a perfectly thrown ball, I should say, to number 22, Jay Herrera, who was wide open, and he caught it. And we said earlier, that's a tough thing to do when you're by yourself, just because you're by yourself. So he catches it, and then it looks like he catches it and is in the end zone, and that looks like a touchdown. That's what we called it here. And then we say, oh, the Wildcats are going for 2. And we'll see the replay here, but it looks like he just might have been just short.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying.
So we don't have the benefit of the replay here necessarily. But Coach Burgett is out there thinking the same thing we are. Doesn't matter now. Brings up a 3rd down and goal.
Same formation for your Wildcats. Ball inside the 1-yard line. And again, it's Gonzalez with the quarterback keeper. And this time he is in.
Yeah.
This time he is in. So it's a QB sneak. It is Aiden Gonzalez with the 1-yard TD run, and now the Wildcats have points on the board.
All right. So we kind of cleared that up. Everybody, even the fans in the stands up here with us were like, that wasn't a touchdown? The official is there to make the call. So he made the call. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's there. Weslaco East now attempts the extra point. After a 6-point touchdown here.
Alejo's on for the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good.
There you go. Interesting that we thought it was a touchdown. Again, keep in mind, the official was right in front of that, so we got to give him credit for calling that. But it doesn't really matter because the Wildcats were able to come in here and get a touchdown on a defense that really, folks, in the last games, okay, let's talk about Harlingen South. They gave up 6 points. You went this over in our pregame or when we started, Joe. They only gave up 6 points to South. They gave no points to Donna, and they gave up 14 points to PSJ Memorial. So they don't give up a lot of points, especially in the first half. So this tells you I said this earlier of the chess match between back and forth. That was a great job by the offensive coordinators, Coach Burgett, Coach Gomez, Coach Brown, all those guys that are down there. They know, hey, we've got to attack the areas that they're leaving. What they're giving us is what we're taking gives you 7 points. Nice. As Wildcat fans are excited, Joe.
They are. 15-7 ball game. 1:53 to go here in the first half. It's Alejo's on to kick the ball away. Smith back deep at about the 5-yard line. It's a short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Watch out. That almost had the effect of playing bowling. Matter of fact, the cheerleaders had the pyramid set up. Oh, no. Good thing the ball carried off as far as possible. No harm done to our cheerleaders.
So it looks like they're going to spot it at the 39-yard line.
Most teams have, Joe, would you agree most teams now, I mean, they don't want the penalty of going out of bounds, but most teams are okay with ball at the 30, 35 even. You know, you've seen that trend as well, right? You know, especially in high school football.
Yeah, especially when you got people that are dangerous with the return.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it,
Yeah, because that's kind of where they bring it out to anyway. Yeah. So 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 back in the backfield with Cruz. Looking to his right, it's going to be a draw to Smith, and he is brought down, hit hard in the backfield by Nehemiah Munoz.
There's where Coach Guzman, Coach Adame are out there telling everybody, look, Nehemiah, wait for the delay. Wait for them to pretend they're going to pass, and then they sneak it to Smith. Nice play.
Loses 5, 2nd down and 15. Same formation for the Hornets. This time Cruz looks to his right. Now he looks in the middle. It is caught in the middle and brought down quickly. It was a pass to Meski. Meski's one of those other guys that has a lot of receiving yards, and he's brought down at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Meski is a matchup trouble, or gives a lot of trouble to everybody he matches up with. He's tall and fast.
And just a junior. Ball is on the ground. Looking to run with the ball is the quarterback, and he is knocked out of bounds. Good play there. It was Padilla back there, and who else is back there, you don't have to even guess. It's Alana Lejos.
Yeah, his determination to make a play was evident there. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe, Joe.
Yeah, he did. That was very fortunate for the quarterback, Cruz, to get that far because he was nowhere to be found until he picked up his head and started to look for a place to run.
Yeah.
But yeah, good job by the defense of the Wildcats. The Hornets do call a timeout because he was brought down in the field of play, and it stops the clock with 56 seconds. So under a minute to go, the Hornets trying to put up some points before the second half, or before the end of the first half, better yet, because the Wildcats will get the ball to start the second half.
Nice. So now, if I'm the Wildcats, I'm thinking this team likes to and wants to throw the ball. So I would be a circle. Look at the screen. Look at the bottom of your screen here, number 11. Watch that guy go. He's one of those guys, if you give him an inch here, he's going to take more than that. Be on the lookout for that pass out there.
So here come the Hornets. 2 receivers each side of the football field. Smith in the backfield. He's going to pass. Smith stays back. He's looking, blush out of the pocket, and he is hit hard by Padilla and Munoz.
This defensive backfield has played the best game they have played all year long. That's how good they're playing, folks. This Wildcat defense, that backfield, is doing its job. They are really, really getting to Lucien Cruz to the fact where he can't throw the ball. And there's certain guys that are open, but one, he doesn't have the time. And then two, by the time he wants to reset, the play has gone awry. There's no longer a guy in that spot that's supposed to be there. So a lot of credit has to be given to this defensive backfield for the Wildcats, because most of those things, you brought it up earlier, Joe, these have been coverage sacks. This has been working in tandem with your defensive line and your backfield there. They've done a great job. This is so far has been a great, great job here done. Regardless of the score, the way they're playing has been impressive, the Wildcats have.
44 seconds. The Hornets burned their second timeout here of the first half. 3rd down and 11, ball at the 45-yard line. You talk about Mesquite. I'm expecting him to go somewhere in the middle here. Smith stays to block. Ball is into the hands of Watson, and Watson is inside to the 20-yard line.
Looks like they found something in that little zone. When the Wildcats drop, they send in Watson right in the middle there. They've liked that little spot for him.
Snap goes quickly. Cruz looking to the end zone, gets rid of the ball, has Watson open in the flat. He's inside to the 5-yard line, down to the 4. That'll stop the clock to move the change, first of all. 24 seconds on the clock, and they're probably going to spike it here. The Wildcats call a timeout.
Yeah, they have to. The two plays, they found a little spot out in the middle, out in the flat. Usually, imagine if a running back comes out and he's in the flat, that's where the receiver, the tight end, is kind of going to. Like, imagine if he was running out from the backfield and stays out there. That's basically the play he's running, Watson is, but out of his wide receiver stance. He comes up and he kind of curls back and he stands there and he gives him a target. Hey, I'm right here, and that's where they're going. And then you let him run with the catch afterwards. He catches it, and that's when he starts running, and that's where all those yards after catch come in, and that's what hurt the Wildcats here. They haven't been able to slow that one down. They've been doing a good job of preventing the big play all game.
Yeah.
But these little small passes, especially to Watson, have been successful.
Yeah, and what I'm guessing, and again, I'm not on that coaching staff, but that's one of the adjustments that they may have adjusted to create that safety valve and telling Cruz, okay, listen, if you have no one back there, here's your safety valve right here, 6 yards down the field.
Yeah, 88 is going to be standing there with his hands wide open in the air.
So 1st and goal for the Hornets at the 4-yard line. Cruz looking to his right. Into the hands of Mesquite. Does he catch it? He does. Yeah. Touchdown, Wildcats. And that is Mesquite's 5th touchdown reception of the year.
We said in the beginning that somehow, some way, they were going to try to look the ball at him. The Wildcats have been doing a good job of preventing him from going deep. Here it wasn't deep. He just comes around. What a pass by Lucien Cruz, though. What a pass. I've been able to just thread the needle there. There was a good coverage on that side from the Wildcats. It wasn't like he was himself. He had to throw it in there just in the perfect place, and he did.
21-7. They're going for 2. Weren't able to convert it last time. They're going for 2 again. Cruz looking to the end zone. He's got a receiver, and it is caught. Good catch there by the receiver because he was juggling it for a while, and that's Jurgensen.
Yeah, and again, they've come back. They've decided that, hey, if they're not going to give us anything long, a little bit of an adjustment before half here by Coach Elwood. They've decided that, hey, if they're not going to give us anything long, they're going to take it away. Okay, we're going to come with our receivers on a little comeback route, go 5-6 yards and stand, find a little zone, find a little spot, and then catch, then go. So that's what we saw on that drive. That's exactly how they countered, how the Bluff countered here. They were able to get just small pass patterns, especially Watson, number 88, get him out there, and then let him run for the big play, and that was enough here to get a touchdown for the Hornets.
Yeah, you create that safety valve with the biggest guy, the biggest target, the guy that you can physically see on the field.
Right.
So that's what really helped them there on that drive.
Well, the Wildcats are going to have an opportunity to look at that and see how they do it. Now, will they try to go now, pretend, or try to cover a shorter area, or do they want to keep the game plan? We just don't want us to beat them deep. And so far, they've done that. The Wildcat defense has been able to stop from big plays. These type of touchdowns have come from shorter plays, shorter distances.
23-7 is the score, 20 seconds on the scoreboard. It's a big kick from Satsuki. It's going to be Herrera at the 10. Herrera got some room on the right side. Still on his feet, breaking some tackles out to midfield. He gets to the 47-yard line, 48-yard line.
12 seconds to go. You're close to midfield. You're your Coach Brigette. You're thinking, okay, we've got to play for this one. Let's just try to go deep, guys, and see what we can do. Now, you got to be careful here. And the reason I say this, Joe, is because in some of these games, the other teams that have given them, and not necessarily in district but before, have been close at this area, kind of like what Weslaco East is here. They're not too far behind. But what happens is you do a turnover or something happens, and that pushes the game out of reach. You got to be careful. You got to be smart here. You get the ball back, as you mentioned. So let's see how the Wildcats handle this. I'm thinking right up the middle. Let the clock run and see what happens here. But looks like they're not going to bring a lot of pressure. At least that's what the Hornets are showing here early.
3 receivers down to the bottom of your screen. Gonzalez, quick pass out to Herrera. Herrera breaks a tackle, still on his feet. He breaks another tackle, hit hard at the 45-yard line, and brought down. The linebacker is Tristan Wilson, came all the way down to make the tackle, and we will go to the half. And at halftime, it is the Flower Bluff Hornets 23, your Wildcats 7. We'll be back with the second half right here on KWES. Welcome back to Flower Bluff. Hornets Stadium is where we are at. KWES bringing you Weslaco's Wildcat football. We are at the half. The Hornets up on top by a score of 23-7. Early on, it was a safety by the Hornets to give them a 2-0 lead. And then with 4:49 to go in the first quarter, it was a running back Smith, a 2-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, and it was a 9-0 score at the end of the first. And then a 21-yard pass from Cruz to Jerkinson with 8:09 to go in the second quarter. 2-point conversion, no good. 15-0 was the score at that point. And then as time was running down, 1:53 to go, a big pass from Gonzalez to Herrera down to the 1-yard line, 2-yard line, somewhere around there. And then 2 plays later, quarterback sneak from Aiden Gonzalez gets the Wildcats on the scoreboard. Extra point was good, 15-7. And then with under 2 minutes to go, 60 yards, the Hornets were able to drive down the field and score in about 65 seconds. A 4-yard pass from Cruz to Mosky. The 2-point conversion was good, 23-7. That's where we are at. It is homecoming here, and the homecoming king was Christopher Russell. Now, you mentioned his name correctly, but in our roster, I called him Christopher Green because that's what it's in the roster. Well, so at least on my roster. And the homecoming queen, Lola Fisher. So congratulations to those two.
Wow, congratulations. They'll never forget this. Even as they're grown-up adults, 20, 30 years later, they're going to say, yes, I was our class president, or is it now homecoming queen and king and queen. So, yeah, congratulations to them. That's something they'll remember from their high school years for years to come here in the community. That should be fun, Joe. The Wildcats get the ball back. Had a little bit of the momentum until the last score came through. So can they find that again? Adjustments are going to come, I think, on both sides.
Yeah, well, they won the toss, deferred for the second half. It's Herrera at the 12-yard line. Cuts it out to his right, still on his feet. Breaks a tackle and cannot get out of that second tackle. Gets it out to about the 36-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. But a good return, a good 24-yard return for Jay Herrera.
So this return, you got to capitalize. Now, again, the first half until the last few minutes of the second, we saw the game plan that the Wildcats had, and it worked. And it worked so far. You say you gave up 23 points, but again, a lot of people have given a lot of points to this team, but Weslaco East has managed, if anything else, to keep, you mentioned at the beginning of the game, we went back to saying to keep that offense, high-powered offense, off the field. Limit mistakes, not many mistakes, not many penalties in this game. So those are all positive things that needed to happen for the Wildcats. Now, can this continue as the Hornets here also adjust now? Let's see how they kind of handle this. They've been run blitzing, right?
Other than the safety, no turnovers.
Yeah.
So the Wildcats have 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to hand the ball off, and that is going to be Herrera, and he's hit after about a 2-yard gain. A good tackle there by the linebacker, Tristan Wilson.
So they've been able to bring a run blitz and be successful. More guys you can block, and they make the tackle. Weslaco East has countered, at least here on the first play, by let's have 2 guys in the backfield, and we're going to have one of them be the lead blocker for the other running back and kind of get into the hole, and hopefully our offensive line, especially on the left side, Lubin Garcia might be the guy they call on to kind of lead the way.
Same formation for your Wildcats. 2 backs in the backfield again. This time play action. They get it out to Herrera, and he is hit hard by the safety, Colton Stride.
Yeah, they were ready for that one. Weslaco East has been coming to the left side a little bit more here during this possession to try to get something going. If you notice, they fake running a counter one way, and they come the opposite way. So Weslaco East is trying to get their offense rolling. As defense now, we'll see how they've been responding here. Especially here in this play, they like to bring the linebackers. Let's see if they do.
3rd down and 12 after about a 3-yard loss on that last play. Gonzalez in the middle. It's intercepted by Colton Stray. He just had that big tackle, and now he's got a pick 6.
And that's the kind of stuff.
And that should be a flag.
That is a flag.
Spike the ball.
Yeah, that is a flag. Remember, they're not going to put up with any of that celebratory stuff anymore at the high school level.
Well, it's never been allowed as a spike.
Yeah.
He spiked the ball.
Yeah, so that is going to back up this team who's been going for 2, it seems like every time they score. Now, this is where things kind of, you got to be careful now, and it's happened to a lot of other teams. We mentioned Harlingen South, we mentioned Donna, PSG Memorial. The game was not necessarily too out of place yet, but it's when something like that with a turnover, and we said in the beginning of the game, these guys these Hornets are just living for an opportunity to not just score a touchdown on offense, but to do it on defense. And so they strike with you with offense, they strike with you on defense, so they come from all over the place. So you can see why this is a very high-scoring team, and it could happen in a hurry. As we'll see now, Zachary Selman, we had a lot to say about him. This is an extra point. This is not a 47 warm-up kick we were watching before the game started. But, yeah, he was an impressive young man. He's just a junior for this Hornet team.
Colton Stry with a pick 6, make it 29-7, pending the point after. Good hold. Kick is up. Kick is plenty good. 10:21 to go. It is now 30-7. Hornets on top of your Weslaco East Wildcats. And, the Wildcats had gone to that slant about 3 times for success. And this time the Hornets were ready for it.
Yeah, again, the adjustments, right? We said in the beginning of the third quarter, this team, and as well as Weslaco East, they came up and they tried something a little different. Obviously, that didn't work, that they were ready for it. So now back to the drawing board. You go back as a team, the Wildcats say, okay, that didn't necessarily work. Let's try something a little different. I'm sure the coaches are thinking, this is what we're going to try. And so, you've got to keep going. You've got to continue playing. The most of any team. We talked about those 3 teams. You mentioned them, Joe, as well. It's the South, Donna, High, PSG. The most points that were scored by PSG Memorial with 14 points. Now, Harlingen South didn't even score only 6 points. So at this point, yeah.
And you got to think that those points from Memorial came late in the game.
Right. Yeah, and most of them did. But just, they did. I got to see a little bit of that game, and so that was the case. So Weslaco East now, and see if they can kind of refocus here and continue working at it. It's going to be a work in progress as far as the offense to try to adjust to what they're doing. So we'll continue doing that.
They give a 15-yard penalty for the spiking of the football in the end zone. So the Hornets are going to have to kick the ball away from the 25-yard line. So we'll see if the Wildcats can get some good field position here after this one. So they'll have Burnias and Herrera back. Satsky getting ready to kick the ball away to them. And it's a good kick. Herrera going back all the way to the 15-yard line. Looking to break it outside. He does. He's got some room. Breaks a few tackles, gets out to the 40. And if they don't trip him up, he's still running.
Yeah, he had a clear lane, as a matter of fact. Somebody might have just put a paw or a foot or something.
And I'm trying to get his number. He has not turned away from here, but it's a single digit over there. Yeah. And I want to say it's 5, James Porter, who just laid out and was able to grab his foot and knock him off balance.
That's something, just all it takes there, because, he was on his way to picking up a really good yardage, was Jay Herrera. So basically kind of the same starting field, was a little bit better this time around, at the 40 this time. So can Weslaco East put some of this drives that they had, successful drives here in the first quarter and second? Can they do this?
The Hornets have 9 in the box. They're going to try to run Herrera outside. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet to the 42-yard line. So he was running east and west quite a bit, gave the Hornets a chance to catch up to him. And catching up to him is the homecoming king that made that tackle, and that is Christopher Russell.
A bunch of swarming Hornets. Man, oh, man, they look the part. Look at if you watch them on defense, when they like to run the run blitz, which they have been doing quite effectively here. Again, more guys to block that you have availability to use to block. So look at the defensive linemen, and then those 3 linebackers, which are excellent linebackers. Look at those guys play so close in the box, and watch them. Look right here. They're coming every single play. Here they come again.
Here comes Burnias. Burnias breaks a tackle, gets to the linebackers, and he's going to be stopped at about the 44-yard line. Good, tough running by Burnias there.
Now, last time we saw that play, Rodriguez really broke away, because remember, after you break the first plane, the first line, there's nobody else left after between 10 and 15 yards after that. So that's what you're trying to get to, that spot. see if the Wildcats can get on it. It's the 3rd and still long here.
Yeah, 3rd and 8. I thought he got to about the 44 before he was knocked back. But I'm not down on the field, and we don't have a perfect angle.
Right.
And so we'll go with what the referees say because they're down there. So it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Pistol formation for Gonzalez. One back in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Burnias. Burnias gets to the 45, and then he is hit, and that is all he's going to be able to get.
These Hornets have a lot of active players. Number 10, Owen Becerra is one of those guys. Really plays defensive end. But, Coach said we can drop him back if need be, play linebacker for us. He's done that. Looks like Weslaco East is going to have to punt. And, yeah, you have to at this point. I mean, you're still on your side of things. You're at the 45-yard line. You have an offense that can go. You've relatively slowed them down a little bit. You've been able to control certain things. So let's play some defense.
8 minutes to go. Clock is running. 4th and 5 for the Wildcats. They've got Contreras on to punt this one away. Good snap. Good punt. Keeps it low, and it's running end over end. Sadly, it went out of bounds because it was an end over end punt, and he had the right idea. And had it stayed in bounds, it would have rolled back even further. But it did go out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, so the Hornets will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line with 7:46 to go here in the 3rd.
Well, for me, I said keep it away from Stray. If it goes out of bounds, you're right. It could have gone further, but at this point I was thinking, oh, no, here comes Colton Stray. He already has a touchdown here on an interception return.
Yeah, that pick six.
You don't want to give him another one. So good job there, if anything else, to keep it away from him.
1st and 10, Hornets ball at their own 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Back in the backfield is Smith. He'll just be on the left side of the quarterback, Cruz. And they're going to hand it off to Smith. No, they're not. They're going to keep it. And they've got a receiver wide open, and it's Watson. And Watson is off to the races, and it's going to be a 70-yard touchdown pass from Cruz to Watson.
He has been the guy in the first quarter, in the second quarter, who started things. He was able to find a spot, and finally looks like Flower Bluff found something that they liked on offense, and boy, did it work. Nice pitch and catch. Cruz to number 88, Ransom Watson. A lot of receivers that can hurt you. I just didn't think it was going to be Watson. I mean, you on a team that you have Landon Meske that we talked about, Porter, and some other guys that Jorgensen that are names. And Watson has been the guy tonight.
Well, you go with who brung you.
Yep.
So it's now 37-7 with 7:34 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
that's Watson's 4th touchdown reception of the year.
Points come in bunches now when the offense starts to click. And we didn't see that in the 1st and 2nd quarter. We started to the end of the 2nd, we saw, matter of fact, that young man, that athlete, Ransom Watson, who kind of got it started. A lot of short pass patterns coming, a lot of comeback patterns. And then after the yards, after the catches, he was very dangerous. Well, you just saw it there. Quick pass. Something simple but he was able to really turn on the jets right after he caught it. Plays tight end, but boy, he's effective wide receiver. He's got the speed of a receiver.
That's the 22nd touchdown pass for Cruz. Lucian Cruz. He's got 0 interceptions this year.
Wow. Yeah, young man who moved over from Alice, and now he's here in this program. And remember, they've had a star quarterback here last year when I was playing with
UTRGV, Paliseo.
Yeah, he's over there now. So, they had to replace a young man, and it looks like they settled on Lucian Cruz. And a good choice. Good choice.
Satsky on to kick the ball away. Wind gusting now. It's a good kick, and this is going to go into the end zone. Yeah. Herrera's going to go back to the end zone. He's going to bring it out.
Oh, boy.
Looking for some room. He's got some on the sideline. Still on his feet. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 44-yard line. And if Gavin Rivas doesn't bring him down, he is off to the races.
I was a little concerned. He's been dealing with a little bit of a knee soreness and stuff. Herrera, trooper, man. He's you can see a little bit bandaged up and stuff. That week really helped him out, but still that type of injury sometimes won't go away until the season is over.
And then there's a personal foul tacked onto that.
Yeah, I think they grabbed a face mask on the return.
Yeah, on
Herrera.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
And so the Wildcats will begin 1st and 10 at the Hornet 40-yard line with 7:23 to go here in the third quarter.
This Weslaco East offense, again, trying to get back to the run, while Flower Bluff wants nothing to do with it.
One back in the backfield with Gonzalez. Looking to throw. He does. He's got a receiver. Incomplete. Good effort there by Pineda. The ball was a little underthrown, but he's also throwing into that gust of wind.
Yeah, Colton Stray up in that area. We've talked about him quite a bit. He was out there. You know, you have the size difference on this on wide receiver and corners for Weslaco East is dramatic. You match them up together, but that'll tell you how high Jay Herrera went for that one. He was up there. You know, so that's a good play there by them. That was, by the way, that was Harrison Harkins, the senior cornerback out there with experience, 2-year guy that has been up there. So he's got experience. Good play there by Herrera.
Handoff to Herrera, looking to bounce it outside. He decides to cut it up the middle. He's going to pick up about 3 to 4 yards.
There seems to be a fumble.
Well, they're thinking that they stole the ball away is what they're saying. The Hornets are saying that they took the ball away from him.
Turned into a scrum.
And that's what they did. They stole the ball from Herrera, and so the Hornets now have the football on offense again with 7:05 to go here in the third. They had a pick six. They had a big 70-yard touchdown pass to Watson, and now they've got the ball all over again.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. They have done this to every team they play. If you've seen the videos, if you've seen them play, this is what they do. Their defense gives plenty of more opportunities for their offense.
3 receivers to the right of the field. Play action underneath to Watson. Again, that's that little safety valve that Watson has created, and he'll just go, as we were talking about off the air, you and I, Fred, he'll just find a little open spot, and that big body of his is hard to miss.
Yeah, and you know, it's nothing that is out of the ordinary that Weslaco East hasn't seen, but he's getting out there. The key is he's open for a second. Now, that means that the Wildcats have to make a tackle. That's where the issue has been.
They have not got a hat on him early. This time they do give it to Smith. Smith hit in the backfield, not brought down, and finally knocked out of bounds. Good play there by Robert Oviedo.
Short center of gravity. Not the biggest guy, number 12. We've been talking about Smith. But boy, he's got some speed on him. Yeah. As soon as he gets started, he's very quick, and then he's got the speed to match. And then, add to that, as Coach mentioned, Coach Elwood said, he just can't get him out of the gym. He's a strong guy, too, so he brings all that kind of stuff together.
2nd down and 6. Same formation for the Hornets. Quarterback Cruz looking to get rid of the ball. He's under pressure. Finally breaks out to the right. He's got a receiver wide open. And a good job by the Hornets receiver, Ethan Satsky, who also does some of the kicking, who saw that his quarterback was in trouble and then just circles around to find an open spot and hoping that his quarterback can spot him, and sure enough, he did.
That's when you become the quarterback's best friend.
Right.
You come back and find your buddy, finds you open in the flat, picks up a first down, and they are rolling. The Hornets are rolling.
So 1st and goal for the Hornets inside the 10-yard line. Out pass to the receiver on the outside, and that is caught by Jorgensen. And is he in the end zone? They're going to say yes.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him.
10-yard touchdown pass from Cruz to Jorgensen. So that's the 3rd touchdown of the quarter for the Hornets.
The speed they show after they catch the ball has been an issue for the Wildcats. As a matter of fact, has been an issue for every single team they've played this year. They turn a quick, just turnaround pass play, as we were able to hear after the extra point here.
That's the 2nd touchdown pass reception for Jorgensen tonight. And the extra point is up, and the extra point is good. We got 5.5 to go here in the third, and the score now is 44-7. Hornets on top. You were saying, Fred?
Yeah. So whether it's Jorgensen, whether it's Mesky, whether it's whoever, pick a guy, Porter, and then you obviously had Watson. These guys are coming up and settling for coming up and making just a curl route or coming out into the flat, picking up 5-6 yards the most. They stand open and they wait for their quarterback to find them. They become a target. They get the ball, and as soon as they get it, now it's up to you, Watson, up to you, Mesky, up to you, these other receivers, to get those 10, 15, 20, and they're really good at it. They've got some really good speed. The receivers are very athletic. So we're describing to you what they've done to South, they've done to other teams that we've mentioned, even before in non-district. They're undefeated, basically, So they've been able to do that. Nothing fancy, but it really puts pressure on your defense to make tackles with these quick athletes. So that's what the Wildcats are dealing with. And that's what your score is where it is right now.
That goes in and out of the end zone, and that'll be Wildcat football at the 25-yard line.
And as a matter of fact, Weslaco East, as good as they have been on offense and defense, you think about their players that they have, and we talked this to Coach Burgett. I said, what is it, Coach, that you think? He goes, look, you have a couple of players. For example, we talked about Landon Green, 2-year player, number 47. We talked about him, Micah Mitchell. He's another guy who's been in this program for 3 years. The linebacker, Tristan Wilson, has been a 3-year player. So these guys have the experience. And Coach was saying, look, you just can't, at this level, you just can't take that away. That's why they're a good team. They've been able to do other people as well. So the challenge is there, not just for the Wildcats, but everybody who's going to have to face them.
Gonzalez, trouble with the snap. He's in trouble. Gets rid of the ball. Good job by Gonzalez to just throw it away, and he threw it in the direction of Herrera because that snap got away from him, and rather than lose a bunch of yards, let's go back to the original line of scrimmage and go do second down.
Number 40, we've talked about him extensively in the beginning of the game. Landon Green, he had another sack if it wasn't for the athleticism that your quarterback Gonzalez showed.
Quickness as well, yeah.
Get it out of there as soon as possible. Good play by Gonzalez.
Herrera in the backfield with Gonzalez. They're going to hand the ball off to him. He gets through the first line. He's hit by the linebacker, and he's going to get 5 yards out to the 30-yard line.
Nice piece of running there again. Not 100%, he'll tell you, but he says, head coach says, the hardest part to keep an athlete like Jay Herrera, from participating. He wants to play. This is a challenge for him. And any player, really, for the Wildcats, this is a challenge when you're playing a team that many consider the top team in the area.
Yeah, exactly. In South Texas.
Yeah, in South Texas. That tells you, hey, you want to go up against those guys. This is what you work really hard for. Weslaco East lines up here.
Gonzalez takes a snap, hands the ball off to Herrera. Herrera is hit in the backfield. The linebacker came up on a blitz, and that is Anthony Mims.
Mims has been another guy that has been very active, not as loud. Is that
now
the word?
He is.
Now he is, yeah. But he was a quiet. Coach said he was a quiet guy, but he was showing off his moves there on that play. So again, Weslaco East trying to pick up first downs. That has to be the key, for them. It just hasn't happened here.
Yeah, the Hornets have scored 3 TDs here in the third quarter, and all of a sudden it's 44-7. We still have 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah. And you see when it all comes together, and watch out. You got to be real careful on this punt. Nice high kick. Looks like nobody's going to get it. It takes a backward bounce.
Yeah, it takes a Hornet bounce and goes out of bounds.
Mike Gonzalez is there to field it. Run, Mike!
37-yard line. I'm not sure if that's a good spot.
No, it's not.
Because it landed in the field of play at about the 43.
Mike Gonzalez is joining. He's our man on the sideline. And Mike was at the 45, and Mike is standing there at the 45 when I saw him touch the ball. And the ball is over here
at the 37.
You're talking about a bad spot. That's what, 7-yard difference?
At least, yes.
Oh no.
So the Hornets 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 38-yard line. Cruz dropping back, looking to go to the end zone. He's got Meski out there and just a little bit out of reach for Meski.
Yeah, they like to do that play. I mean, they've done it with everybody, and they keep going back to it. Even if nothing's there like that one that's overthrown, and they still want to do it. Good coverage there, at least trying to keep up with it was Oviedo. Robert, man-to-man on that one. That's a tough job for anybody.
Yeah, and that wind at his back probably was what caused it to go over his head a little bit, because that wind is really blowing now. 3 receivers to the left, to the top of your screen, 1 down at the bottom. They're going to hand it off to Smith. Smith breaks the tackle. We've got a holding underneath here, but Smith is going to get to the end zone.
I was looking for a flag.
I was looking for a flag here at the 37-yard line. There was a hold right there, but nonetheless, it is a 38-yard touchdown run from Smith.
See the speed, we talked about that, how they like to hit you. They really want to throw the ball. That's what they really want to do. Weslaco did a fantastic job in the first half to slow that down. But here now this is a running play, and you can't do all.
Yeah,
that was a big run.
That's Smith's second touchdown of the night. He's got 11 on the year. Extra point is up, and the extra point is good. Selman with the extra point, making it 51-7.
Yeah, so we thought coming in here, this team, again, by watching what they've done to other teams in our district, how quickly they can put up points. And, boy, this third quarter has seen an eruption.
4 TDs in the fourth quarter.
One of them was a return pick six, and then you had runs and
you had the 70-yard touchdown pass to Watson, then you had the 10-yard touchdown pass to Jurgensen, and then now the 38-yard TD run from Smith. So Jurgensen and Smith both have 2 TDs tonight.
Yeah.
Jurgensen 2 through the air, Smith 2 on the ground.
Yeah. Complete team. This is a complete team that you're watching here this evening. You can see why they go deep every year into the playoffs. Weslaco East matched up with them for the good part of the game until things started to come little by little apart. And, again, we go back. They basically have done this, especially in the second half. They've done this to every team that we're going to play or have played. They did it to Donna, which we beat. They did it to PSG Memorial, which we beat. And they did it to South, somebody we'll get to soon.
Yeah. I think we've got them the last weekend of the regular season.
Yeah.
Herrera. Now he's got to bring it out.
Yeah. Didn't have a choice. I was thinking just take a knee, but the ball rolled out of the end zone.
Yeah, it rolled off his chest and forward.
Oh boy.
And out into the field of play.
Yeah.
And so he was forced to have to bring it out, in the Wildcats with not so good field position, 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
This kind of takes me back to the first quarter when they gave up the safety. That was the worst field position they had, but they stopped them there. Now, that's where the defense for Weslaco, we stopped them. That was different. Here, this is their worst starting field position all game besides that deep in their own territory, but that was because on defense they stopped them there. Here, it just bounces off the chest of Herrera and he grabs it. Good thing he did grab it, but didn't even make it up as far as he wanted to, short of the 25. As a matter of fact, that's what, the 24-yard line, something like that?
Right now?
Where are they? I can't
the
see.
13-yard
line. Oh, boy, I was giving him more credit.
Yeah, 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
Wow.
So the Wildcats with the ball back deep in their own territory. 2 receivers down to the bottom of your screen, and we got a quick flag. So this might back them up even more.
The Wildcats were in a position to throw the ball. Gonzalez was about to reload the ball and try to throw out there.
So now they're back to the 8-yard line.
I'm having memories of the last time we gave up a safety. We were on the opposite end of the field, the other side of the field, but still it makes me a little nervous to be back here.
So 1st and 15 from the 8-yard line. Same formation for the Wildcats. 2 receivers down the bottom of your screen. And Gonzalez was hit as soon as he released that ball. Inside and in the backfield was Mims.
I don't think necessarily that was a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad thing when your quarterback gets hit. But that might have been okay because I think if Gonzalez puts it on there, that might have been another pick six. Because, I mean,
Herrera fell.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, oh, no. Wide receiver falls. The only one out there is your defensive player. Nobody can stop him there. But so something bad turned into something good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Doesn't matter now.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 15. Handoff to the running back, and there is nowhere to go.
Yeah, that defense now is pinning their ears back.
Yeah, Burnias just had nowhere to go.
They're coming every single play. I mean, they're bringing – now they're kind of choosing who gets to come through the line. If you notice, a couple of things on the defense, especially for them. We talked about Odin Beseda, now number 10. He's playing now the right side. They kind of rotate him and a couple of other players.
So 3rd down. Ball in the air, in and out of the hands of Pineda, just a little too high. He got up there, almost able to get both hands on it.
That almost was an incredible catch.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been all over the highlights. That catch in itself, even though it would have necessarily might have given you a first down, I think that was just a beautiful catch if you would have put it together. Just a tad off there, incomplete pass, but boy, what an effort by both quarterback and wide receiver.
So that'll bring up a 4th down, and the Wildcats send on the punt unit.
Danger, danger here. Danger, danger. Get the ball as soon as you can out. 1. 2, make sure you kick it away from the kick returner. Good so far. Now you got to go get it.
It goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So the Hornets with even better field position now. 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 28. The last one they started at the 37. This time they started at the 28.
Right. Field position is getting better. After every punt, the field position was bad. I mean, it was just a bad field position, and then you gain a couple of plays and you really don't get a first down. That sets you behind. You get a punt that's caught by the air by this blowing wind all of a sudden. We're sort of inside of a fan here all of a sudden.
Right, exactly. So 1st and 10 for the Hornets at the Wildcat 28-yard line. Bad snap. Cruz picks it up, in trouble, rolls away from trouble, and he's going to break a tackle, and he's brought down after breaking one tackle, but it's going to be a sack as he got brought down at about the 33-yard line.
Low snap, rolled over a few times, and got it. You have to have Cruz turn around and get it. Wildcats saw it. They attacked immediately, and you lose some yardage there.
So they lost about 4, so to bring up a 2nd down and about 14.
Watch 88 on the bottom of your screen in the slot here. They've been going when they need a play right to him.
One back in the backfield. He's looking to his left. He's got a receiver in and out of the hands of Andres Moreno Bracho.
Couldn't quite get it. Comes into the game. Basically ran the play that Watson has been very successful at on the opposite side over here. I thought they were going to him. But you're right. They went to Moreno Bracho.
Yeah, coach said he was Colombian.
Oh, wow.
So that incomplete pass brings up a 3rd down and 14 for the Hornets. Big play for the Hornets. A good stop from the Wildcats would be nice right now. Looking to his right. It's in the direction of the receiver, Jorgensen, but just a little too high. And so that'll be 4th down. Now, my thing is, are they going to bring in the field goal kicker?
I want to see that. I hope we can see that. I hope that the people back at home can see what we see. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. They might just
They
punt
got
it.
Satsky on there. I'm surprised they brought in Satsky.
Huh.
I thought they would bring in Selman.
I agree with you on that one. Are they going to punt?
They're probably going to punt.
Huh. I would have loved to see just that.
That would have been a 50-yard field goal attempt, 50-51 from where they're at.
People at home are saying, where's that 47-yard try to Aver? Where is it? They're going to ask us.
You're going to fake the punt. And there's a hold right there at the bottom of your screen. And it's going to be Satsky running the ball.
Oh,
fumble. Picked up by the Wildcats. It looks like the Wildcats have it.
Yeah,
but there was a hold over here.
Are they going to call it this time?
No, they're not.
Well, last time we saw it. And Weslaco recovers.
So it's just as good as a punt.
Just as good as a punt. There you go. Tricky Hornets. You know, this is the second time, Joe, and the reason I'm saying this is because I agree 100%. We see the same thing. The fans here are watching the same thing. Maybe at home you're too. You say that's a hold, and we can see it. It just doesn't get called. You know, the officials have the better view. You got to give it to them. But that's the second time at least that we've seen that. And maybe it's just the position. Maybe it's just the way it's looking. I don't know. At this point, I don't know what to tell you.
But a good stop by your Wildcats nonetheless. They get
Turnover.
the ball. They keep the Hornets out of the end zone. That's the important thing there.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10, Wildcats ball inside the 20-yard line, about the 11-yard line. They're going to run a sweep with Burnias, and Burnias is held up and knocked back, and he may not have gotten to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he lost a couple. He was trying to go wide,
Yeah.
and they just never. They did.
He never turned the corner.
Never a good job of setting the corner there. Matter of fact, you had number 8 out there, Colton Stray. We've mentioned his name already a few times.
And Micah Mitchell as well.
Yeah, those guys were out there, and they held that corner. Didn't want to make sure there was nothing developing, and good job there by the defense.
So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 13. They got to run a play as we've got 40 seconds left on the clock. 9 seconds left on the play clock. So they got to get going here. Snap on time. Handoff to Herrera. Herrera off the right side. May get to the original line of scrimmage. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. I'm pretty sure they're not going to run another play. There's 16 seconds on the clock. So we will go to the 4th quarter, the final 12 minutes of play with the Hornets of Flower Bluff leading this one. The Flower Bluff Hornets 51, your Weslaco Wildcats 7. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right here on KWES.
Had this when they had their old stadium, it was kind of in the neighborhood, kind of in an area where it's a neighborhood. Here at Hornet Stadium, they do it as well. Old stadium in Weslaco. They were out there as well. Was in the middle of what is it now, 6th Street. So I like the feel, the throwback feel of having it in an area, residence there. It's always cool.
4th quarter now officially underway. Hitch pass to Pineda, and he is only going to get about 2 yards. A lot of maroon out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If anything else, I like the fact where the Wildcats have come up and not been afraid to throw the ball. They're going to need that. The next few games that are coming up, they're going to need help with that pass game because they'll be able to run the ball. The issue is, and they did it tonight for a little while here, they were able to do that. So now can you open up your offense a little bit? They've done that here tonight, and some big plays, big first downs with the pass. So it's good to see. Good to see.
So it's a 4th down, low snap. Good job by Contreras to get it off and away. And they're going to let it go back. It takes a Wildcat bounce all the way to the 41-yard line. Good job there by Ram Carrera, and doing a good job making sure that Kane doesn't pick it up and run with it.
So this district now, Joe, we've got some time, obviously, that we've got to kind of talk about what's going to happen here with the Wildcats and with this Hornets team, and then you have, you have obviously how the South, the Hawks. You have a lot of teams involved here. Last time we heard here, it's a live broadcast. It was 7-7, Donna North and the Chiefs. That's going to be a nice game, I think. Donna North, I think, is a much improved team.
Yeah, that they are.
It was the run here. I'm
Smith.
surprised.
No, it's play action, and it is caught in traffic and in stride. James Porter, and he's finally knocked out of bounds. A good stop there by Taylor Jimenez.
Taylor in a touchdown-saving tackle there. I thought it was a run. I was even going to say, I can't believe Smith is still going to run the ball this late in the game. But, they pulled it out and throw it. That's nice.
Yeah, I was too busy listening to you.
Yeah. Well, we were about to get going into talking about district. And you agreed Donna North is obviously a better team. We'll try to see if we can get some updates on it. But it sets up now at this point of the season as getting ready here for the next play.
1st and 10 for the Hornets. Ball at about the 13-yard line. Cruz looking to throw the ball. And who he's going to throw to? Watson.
Yeah.
A 12-yard touchdown pass from Cruz to Watson. And that's a second touchdown pass to Watson.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to call Watson their MVP tonight, if anything else. And I was surprised. And the reason I bring this up is because when we spoke to Coach Elwood, and we talked about all the athletes they have, and you can see this on the field, right? The fact is, he says he started, coach, being a coach said, and we wait the extra point here. I'll tell you about the offensive line that he feels is where their championship pedigree starts. Says I'll tell you here the extra point. Here he comes.
So Selman on for the extra point. It is up and it is good. So with 10:26 to go here in the ball game, it is now the Hornets 58, your Wildcats 7.
So we said we're going to mention these guys, and then we'll start talking. William Osterling, Connor Davis, Matthew Howard, and Aiden Rivera, and Taylor Bregman. Those guys right there, they just mentioned your starting 5. 2 of those guys, have been returners and been on this offense for some time. One of them is a captain. That tells you. He says, hey, at our school, they have to be chosen by the team. So the team chooses it. And so that's what that happens there. So those guys, Coach said, this is this bunch of guys. I know everybody says the offensive linemen, but I really do believe these guys give us time. And you know what? Majority of the pressure that has been was because the defense for Weslaco East did such a great job. I even said, and I'll stand by it, the best job they had done here early in the game of keeping this explosive Hornet team, as you've seen, kind of contained.
Yeah, keeping everything in front of them.
Yes, they did a great job. You just can't take that away from them. Now, all of a sudden, you start seeing what they can do. But the fact is that Coach mentioned that we've got a lot of different guys that you mentioned. Smith, you mentioned now Watson. These guys that he wanted to talk about as offensive linemen, and a guy he kind of mentions this every now and then he'll help us out was Watson. Every now and then. He's had probably a record-setting night. I don't know how many touchdowns he has, but 88 has been all over the field. And the yards after catch are probably outstanding. So, that tells you this is a complete team. That's the point I'm trying to bring is they don't have just one guy. They have one, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, but they play together, and this is what you got.
Burnias at the 12-yard line. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet out to the 27-yard line. Loses the ball, but I want to say it was recovered by Oviedo.
Yeah, Oviedo was there. He saw that ball come up. And that's another thing about them. They're always looking to get that ball to their offense. A good defense knows, look, if we can't score ourselves, let's get it back to our offense who scores a bunch of points. And they do a good job of that, of being able to do that. So, again, the good job there by the Hornets. So we'll see this Weslaco East team trying to pick up first downs, trying to run the clock. This, I think, will go into more of that kind of a mode, Weslaco East will, and we'll see if the Hornets decide to put their stingers away.
Yeah, they have.
I think so, right? Yeah, we're starting to see other guys come up. We'll talk, for the Hornets.
They're going to give the ball to the running back. Couldn't see who was in the backfield, but that's going to be a good run of about 4 or 5 yards for your Wildcats, and that's Burnias in the backfield.
Yeah, so now you're on the defense. You've got other players coming in. Mason Basham now playing defensive end. Number 46 now, Daniel Stevens, young sophomore, is in there as well. Big number 70, Wayne Skinner. So you've got some guys now getting some playing time, and you're going to need that. I'm sure Weslaco East eventually will start to do the same.
2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. Burnias again, the ball carrier. This time couldn't get anything going. He's dropped down with no gains. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
So I'm kind of curious now. How this win for Flower Bluff, and then Weslaco will suffer their first loss of the season
in district play.
Right. Yeah. So that's where they're at, and that kind of shuffles things. Is now the only 2 teams that are undefeated in this district are the 2 teams that were probably expected to finalize it and fight for the district championship. Gonzalez decides to keep it himself. He's going to go wide and be brought down there.
And he's going to be maybe
close.
Half a yard short.
Oh, boy. I thought he was just a yard short. So that'll set up all sorts of nice, thinking ahead here a little bit. As we got some minutes to kind of think about it. I think they're going to go for it, right? It's a 4th down in about,
about half a yard.
If this is the time to do it, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, the angle we've got has the ball at the 41. And the line to gain looks to be the 42. And you're right, Fred. They are going to go for it. Gonzalez is the quarterback. He loses the ball. It's on the ground. And the Hornets recover.
He said the worst outcome would be you don't make it, but at least you try it. Here, never get a chance. The Wildcats, as a fumble rolls away from them and turnover on down. So the
Garrett O'Brien with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, the Hornets, a bunch of new defensive players on the defensive line and linebacker unit. Come up and they made their
well, that was a bad snap. It started off with a bad snap, and Gonzalez just could not pick it up, and O'Brien just literally just fell on it. So 1st and 10 for the Hornets, 8:27 to go in this ball game, and they've got the backup crew on the field. New quarterback in Isaiah Villarreal, a junior.
Yeah, number 2. He's the number 2
on the depth chart.
Yep. Wants to throw.
Play action. They get it out into the hands of the receiver, Bracho.
Yeah.
And his name is Moreno Bracho. And we talked about him a little while ago. He was out on the other side of the field.
Yep.
And it just overthrew him a little bit. And this time they do get it to him on a little bubble screen attempt, but he's going to lose about 2 yards on that one.
Different players. The system stays the same. They're wide open offense, but they just replaced the players there.
Going to look deep, nothing there, and now he gets rid of the ball. Almost a good catch on the sideline by Bracho, but the ball just a little too far out of bounds for him to try to snag that one in. He was trying to keep his 2 feet in the field of play.
So I'm going to give myself the pleasure of looking forward. I'm just going to fast forward this. You're going to help me here because next Friday we head to the comfy, nice confines of Bobby Lackey.
Right.
Take on the Rivera Raiders.
The Raiders.
Now, the Raiders were losing earlier, too. He was on one knee. They didn't call it. He was on one knee. That should have ended the play, but they're going to – he's going to give him a first down, if anything.
Yeah, Villarreal gets out of that jam there. As you mentioned, he was on one knee. Gets up and runs away, and he picks up the first down, so a 13-yard gain for him.
So we go home, play the Raiders, new coach and all. And then we come back the next Friday, and we travel to Donna North.
Right.
So those 2 games are going to be, I think, important. I know they're not the name game, the games like tonight and some of the other games that are about to come. But I think those 2 games that you think about, Rivera and Donna North, if you can
win those 2
games, right? Then that sets you up to be okay, to be able to, and you'll be in the positive, right? You go in to go play PSG North, and that PSG North comes to Bobby Lackey, and then you kind of looking ahead a little bit. You come back to Corpus on the 30th on another Thursday.
It's a Thursday night game here in Corpus.
So you play veterans. So it just depends on how things shape up. Here comes the pass.
Villarreal's got a receiver in the middle of the field, and he connects with the guy, and he just threw a bullet.
Is that Bracho? Yeah, Bracho again. Yeah, he was open right in the middle.
And that's one of the seniors on this ball club, Bracho.
And so then on the 3rd, and then you finish it off on the 7th of November, which we all think, at least I do. I shouldn't include you, but I think that game might be for quite a few marbles.
Oh, yeah, and it was last year.
I remember last year. Yeah, it was one of those things where you win, you're
in. Exactly.
So,
and this is a very tough district.
Yeah, so that's what you're kind of looking at hit here.
Craig, the ball carrier, maybe a yard or two inside the 5-yard line, bringing up a 2nd and goal.
So that's still a lot of football to be played. I mean, you still got quite a few games. But now you kind of you're at home. You're thinking, oh boy, what's going to happen now? We've got one loss, sure, one loss here in district. But to be honest with you, almost everybody, except for 2 teams, which we'll mention here in a second. Here comes the snap.
2nd down and goal again. Craig, the ball carrier, still on his feet and gets in the end zone. So it's a 4-yard touchdown run for Craig.
Dominic Craig, touchdown. Now this offense, once again, they don't change the formation. They run the same type of offense. The game stays the same. The players are the ones that change the name. That's about it. The results are the same. Another big touchdown.
You know, this district's a tough district because, you know, you got Flower Bluff, you got Corpus Christi Vets, you got PSGA North.
Yeah.
Any of those 3 teams can win the title.
Exactly. I'll tell you here, very interesting. If you're watching at home, you definitely want to watch this in a second here. Comes the extra point.
Selman with the extra point. It's up and good.
Wow.
And with that extra point, 5:36 to go, it is now the Hornets 65, Weslaco Wildcats 7.
So, I was thinking, Joe, kind of looking at the schedule, right? If you start thinking about what's going to happen here, now you kind of flip it onto the other side where Flower Bluff is at, right? You start thinking about Flower Bluff, what they've got to do. They obviously are one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams in this district. Now, you think about PSJ North, which is also in this district, right? They're also there. So you think about it, I think it comes down to really 2 dates. I think it comes down to the 30th where they will take on PSJ North. That date, the 30th of October, this team, the Flower Bluff Hornets, will take on PSJ North. That's interesting, and I don't know where it's going to be at. I didn't go that far, but
I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, so we'll let you look that up.
It's going to be right here in Flower Bluff.
Oh boy! Oh.
No, I'm sorry. It's going to be in PSGA.
Well, still,
it's going to be in the Valley.
That even makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it'll be in the Valley. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's great. So then, think about this team, right? And then they play PSJ North, and if that's not enough for you, on the 7th they take on Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, the Eagles here in Corpus. That's what they finalize with. That game might be for all sorts of things. Seeding, maybe even for district. Who knows, right? Lots of football to be played, folks. That's what we're trying to say.
That's with the kick. Falls in front of Carrera, and he'll pick it up and run with it. Breaks a tackle, finally brought down at the 25-yard line. So a good return there by Carrera to about the 26-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for your Wildcats.
And it just all depends, of course, how your team does at that point. Everybody by that time will be a little bit banged up. Everybody's is a little banged up. Depends on when you have your bye, that kind of thing. But overall, Weslaco East, your Wildcats really enjoyed this last week of being off. They needed it. Coach Burgett said, "Look, we're a little banged up. We've got some players that we need some time with." We've got the roughest part of our schedule coming up here pretty soon after Flower Bluff. It doesn't get any easier, but keep your eye on those 2 games that we talked about, that Rivera and Donna North game. If your Wildcats can put things together, and be successful on those, you might be looking ahead here. And it's a little too early to think about it, but at least some positive things can come forward because this Wildcat team is very physical, can do things. We'll see if they can.
Contreras in at quarterback, and he's going to take off and run out to his right, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Good run, a good 7-yard pickup for him.
I was asking you earlier. I said, hey, I know who quarterback 1 is. Aiden Gonzalez, your senior is. I said, but who do they have after that?
Contreras.
Contreras is this young man who's got some good speed.
Yeah.
He can do certain things. We saw it there. You never want to see another quarterback besides your starting quarterback, but in this situation, you can understand why.
Yeah, you got to give him some playing time. 2nd and 4, they'll give him 6 on the carry, and they do the same exact play. And he's going to pick up another 6. He'll break it inside and pick up maybe 10. Good job there by Contreras. Good run as he was coming out to the sideline and then finally decides that there was a little gap there on the inside, cuts it inside, and he'll get out to the 42-yard line. 43 is where they're going to spot it. First and 10.
You can see him thinking, should I continue going out of bounds or should I cut it back inside for a couple of more? Good decision, sir. Good job.
So first and 10, Wildcats. Clock ticking, 4:25 to go in the ball game. Contreras, same exact play. This time, different result. That is, he's knocked out of bounds after only about a 2-yard pickup.
Right. The Wildcats seem to be satisfied with running that type of an offense, especially when the clock is about to go under 4 minutes. The thing you want to do is try to run the clock out as much as possible. Long trip back for the Wildcat fans. We'll be kind of heading down here to the Rio Grande Valley again.
Under 4 minutes to go officially on the clock. Contreras will hand it off to Burnias. Burnias looking for some room. He's got some on the left side. Picks up about 4 yards to the 48-yard line, where it's going to be third down and maybe 4.
Yeah, they were able to pick up just a few yards there. Nice pickup. So they can move the ball, and you're giving the opportunity some of the younger players. So that's a good thing as well. You said it earlier. It's always good to give them some snaps. You just don't know, you're a play away from becoming a starter on offense or defense for that matter. And the Wildcats understand that. Good choice there to have Contreras take a few snaps.
Bad snap, and Contreras picks it up, breaks a tackle, but after you give the Hornets a few seconds, they're not going to let you go any further.
And this angry Hornet team hasn't stopped on defense. They come out here and they try to make some plays, and they have.
So they're going to lose a few yards on that one, back to the 45-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and 7. Clock is ticking with 2:40 to go in the ball game.
I got to say something. We missed the band. I wonder if some of you are in the band or you're people that are involved with the band. We missed you tonight.
And I think the reason they didn't come is because it was homecoming. And, with homecoming, they got to do all those festivities, the homecoming court and all that stuff.
That makes sense. Sure.
And so if you're not going to be able to play and you got to do a shortened repertoire, is it worth traveling 3 hours?
Nah.
And doing all that you have to do for the performance, it makes things difficult. And you put the band directors in the school district in a tough situation.
Sure.
Now, if it was across town or something like that, that's a different story.
Sure.
But this is, a 3-hour trip.
But I will say this, Wildcat Regiment, we missed you tonight. It's you always, that's part of the Friday night light thing. Yeah, you got to come out here. But just want to let you guys know we're thinking of you guys, and we'll catch up with you next week.
4th down for the Wildcats, 7-8 yards to go. Contreras rolling out to his right, getting rid of the ball to Pineda, and it's broken up. It's intercepted. Good concentration there by the defensive back, Alan Jorgensen, who has 2 TDs tonight. So he's got good hands.
Yeah, a lot of players, especially players like that play on the offense, or, on the defense now. You got a couple of guys that play back and forth. They don't. The coach said we play our athletes. Here, we've got to play our athletes. We're not a big school. So anytime we have an opportunity to play a guy on offense, we're going to play him on defense, we'll do it. So, yeah, they some of their skill players especially they will use, at the corner spot, safety spot. Jorgensen playing corner there, and he's an outstanding, not defensive player only, but obviously offensive player.
Yeah, and that's good as good as a punt.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 for the Hornets back at the 26-yard line. 2:24 left in the ball game. They'll hand it off to Craig. Craig gets about 3 or 4 yards up to about the 29-yard line.
I'm sure that on the other side, the experience for them is something that they obviously like, Hey, a lot of things here is interesting that a lot of these players, just like for Weslaco East, this just so people back home know, they also promote being a multi-sport athlete. As a matter of fact, the coach mentioned a lot of these guys are multi-sport athletes that are Hornets. Yeah, it's funny in talking about it, and I'll share this with you. I thought it was very interesting. We talked about it on the way here. There's certain towns in Texas that are known for being military towns, right? They basically, you know, every year it changes for some of these schools because parents, families move in, and they come back and forth because they're in the military. He says, look, in our community, it's very special because all the time we have people moving in, moving back and forth. So he says some of these athletes, we do a really good job of welcoming everybody in that comes in, and we understand they might be gone next year. It might not last here the whole career in high school careers. So, you know, about that, very interesting of how their community and how their school is built. A lot of these families are not from necessarily this area.
No.
They move in from other areas. I thought it was a nice thing that Coach Elwood talked about, and the relationships that happen, you know, and things like that. You don't have here in the Valley anything like that, but you have it here at Flower Bluff.
Yeah, I worked on my master's degree here in Corpus Christi, and several of the people that I met along the way had their spouses here, and that's a bad snap and a sack. And they were military people.
Yeah.
And so they left within a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I would see that even within, you know, when I spent some time here.
Yeah, it depends on what assignment they gather, where they're going. So he says we're a special community just because of that. He says we welcome in with open arms and we let go when we have to.
Sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah. They did say that. That was something that he did say that was kind of a tough thing to do. Sure.
So a sack, losing 6 yards, 3rd down and 16, minute 20 to go here in this ball game. Hand the ball off to Craig. Craig off the right side, knocked down after about a 4 or 5 yard gain, and that'll bring up a 4th down. And the Hornets not sure what they're going to do. Less than a minute to go when they take this snap. They really don't have to take a snap here till about the 33-second mark.
So they have some time.
Yeah, so they're going to send in their punt unit.
On the other side for the Wildcats, obviously, we know them well. These young athletes are representing their school and their community as well. And, you know, tonight, you got to take the good, right? You got to take, you know, it's obviously a team that you can see why they 3-4 deep. They do that, and they're probably going to do it again this year. But Weslaco East was able to put up a fight, you know, be able to adjust certain things. If anything else, they came out of this game healthy. You know, they had some injuries before this game. So that it's good to see that some of these guys are you know, still dealing a little bit with them, but they look better. Nothing too bad. You know, nothing that we can mention that happened, anything bad. So that's always good to see where these young athletes are going to come out of here clean. Right? That's the word. You know, injury free. You know, at least that's always a positive because, again, the district campaign continues. We already talked about what's coming up in the next few weeks here. So your Wildcats are right in the middle of really chasing down not just the playoffs, but an opportunity not just to make the playoffs, but to make some noise in this district. You just don't know what's going to happen here down the road. This Weslaco East team is primed to take a chance at it again. They've got some games, some tough ones that are coming up, better teams, teams that they're familiar with, all these other things coming to see. We'll see how the Wildcats react, but we're expecting a good season to remain here, to continue for the Wildcats.
And as you mentioned, we will see you next Friday night at the friendly confines of Bobby Lackey Stadium as your Wildcats will welcome the Raiders of Brownsville Rivera to the stadium. So 4th down, and the Hornets do punt. Ball is rolling, takes a Hornet bounce to about the 47-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. 1st and 10 with 18 seconds to go.
Coach is calling Peter. And they don't have a guy named Peter.
Right.
But that's the key word to get away from the ball.
Exactly.
Look up, somebody, please.
Yeah, because there was one white jersey in the vicinity.
Yeah, that's interesting how, you know, you kind of, people ask, what were they talking, what were they calling? They weren't calling anybody. They're just telling them to be aware, get out of the way. You know, everybody's got, I guess, their special word.
Right, yeah, those key words. So the Wildcats come back onto the field with 18 seconds to go. Contreras in at quarterback, and he'll going to run it out to his right, and he's got some running room, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. It'll stop the clock with 10 seconds.
Nice running there by your quarterback, Contreras. Can run.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, that's something we've seen here now. I wonder if if you're Coach Brigade and the rest of the offensive staff, do we kind of include him in the game plan next week? I mean, he's able to run. You have that from Gonzalez as well. Gonzalez can also.
Yeah, Gonzalez has got some speed.
Yeah,
he runs track as well.
Yeah, Gonzalez can scoot. That's for sure.
That we do know. So here we go. It's 1st and 10. Wildcats ball at the 30-yard line. They'll hand it off to Burnias. Burnias off the left side, and that's going to do it as he is tackled in the field of play. And that is the end of the ball game. There goes the buzzer. The Wildcats dropped their first district game, 65-7 to the Flower Bluff Hornets. I want to thank our statistician, Mike Gonzalez, for all the great work he did tonight. Adrian De Leon keeping the computer graphics and the scoring up to date for you guys back at home. Our dancing cameraman, Vinny Berry, doing a great job there as well. Fred Alfaro, I am Joe Aguilar saying good night from Flower Bluff Hornets Stadium, where once again your Wildcats leave here defeated, dropping their first district game of the season, falling to the Flower Bluff Hornets. The final score in this one, the Flower Bluff Hornets 65, your Weslaco Wildcats 7. We'll see you next week right here on KWES.